Next topic of module 5 is biasing of transistors. So all of you are already familiar with this term bias. In module 4, we have studied the forward bias as well as reverse bias of PN junction diodes. So in that module, you have also studied the input and output characteristics of a common emitter transistor. In the output characteristics, there were 3 regions of operation, and they are active region, cutoff region, and saturation region. So this is the basic schematic diagram of a common emitter transistor. So this configuration is known as common emitter because the emitter terminal is common to both input as well as output. And for this common emitter transistor, in order to get the active region of operation, the input junction should be forward biased and output junction should be reverse biased. That is, the emitter base junction should be forward biased and collector emitter junction should be reverse biased. Under this condition, the transistor will act as an amplifier. So second region is the cutoff region, and in order to get this region of operation, the input junction as well as the output junction should be reverse biased. That is, emitter base junction should be reverse biased and also collector emitter junction should be reverse biased. And under this condition, the transistor acts as it is completely turned off. The third region is the saturation region, and to get saturation region of operation, input junction as well as the output junction should be forward biased. That is, emitter base junction as well as collector emitter junction should be forward biased, and under this condition the transistor will be completely turned on. So if we operate the transistor alternatively in between these two regions, the transistor will act as a switch because here it is off and here it is on. So if we operate the transistor alternately in these two regions, the transistor can be used as a switch. And the normal operating region of a transistor is the active region because the transistor is commonly used as an amplifier. So it should be operated in the active region. And biasing is defined as the process of applying DC voltage of correct polarity across the transistor junctions in order to make the transistor operate in the active region. So biasing means the process of applying DC voltage of correct polarity across the input and output junctions of a transistor so that input junction will be forward biased and output junction should be reverse biased. So then the transistor will be operating in the active region and it can be used as an amplifier. So this is the definition for biasing. So now let us look into the various needs for providing biasing to transistors. First one is to fix the operating point at the center of the active region. So we have already discussed this point. As a transistor is to be used as an amplifier, it should be operated in the active region. So we have to fix the operating point at the center of active region, which is accomplished by biasing. The second point is to stabilize the collector current against temperature variations. That is, the collector current has to be made stable. So this statement indicates that the collector current depends on temperature, or collector current varies with temperature. And biasing helps to neutralize the dependency of collector current on temperature variations. So we know that collector current IC is equal to, so this is the current gain for a common emitter amplifier. Current gain is nothing but the ratio between output current and input current. So current gain for a common emitter configuration indicated as beta is equal to IC divided by IB. So from here we can write IC is equal to beta into IB. So IC is equal to beta into IB. So in addition to this current, As the collector-emitter junction is reverse biased, a reverse saturation current will flow across the collector-emitter junction. So this current can be represented as ICEO, that is reverse saturation current flowing across collector-emitter junction. So we know that whenever a junction is reverse biased, a reverse saturation current will flow across the junction, and the reverse saturation current is due to the flow of minority carriers, and the minority carriers are thermally generated. So when temperature increases, the minority carriers will increase, and hence the reverse saturation current ICEO will increase. So collector current IC will also increase. So that is why it is been said that the collector current is dependent on temperature. So biasing helps to stabilize the collector current independent of temperature variations. So let us see later how biasing helps to stabilize the collector current. And the third point is to make the operating point of the transistor independent of current gain beta. So we have different types of biasing circuits. They are fixed bias or base bias, collector to base bias, bias circuit with emitter resistor, and voltage divider bias. Among these, the most commonly used biasing circuit is the voltage divider bias, and we have to study it in detail. So going on to voltage divider bias. It is also known as self-bias or potential divider bias. Voltage divider bias or potential divider bias or self-bias. This is the circuit diagram for potential divider bias. So this circuit has got the name potential divider bias because of the potential divider or voltage divider configuration made by resistors R1 and R2. So we know that when two resistors are connected in series, the total voltage applied across them gets divided and appears across each of the resistors. So here, initially, before giving bias, this transistor will be in the off condition. So no current will flow through this branch. Hence we can neglect this branch. So R1 and R2 will be in series. And the total voltage applied across R1 and R2 is VCC. So VCC is the voltage applied across this point. So it will be the voltage appearing across this branch, that is this point and ground. So we know how to calculate the voltage across each individual resistors of a series connection. So we can use voltage division rule. So R1 and R2 are in series and the total voltage across them is VCC. So voltage across R2 can be generally written as total voltage across the series combination into corresponding resistance, that is R2, divided by sum of resistances. Total voltage into corresponding resistance divided by sum of resistances. So hence we can write voltage across R2 is equal to total voltage VCC into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So this voltage VR2, voltage across R2, helps to forward bias the emitter base junction. Now, in order to get the active region of operation, we have to reverse bias the collector emitter junction. So the supply voltage VCC applied through RC helps to reverse bias the collector emitter junction. So VCC through RC reverse biases collector emitter junction. So there is a mistake in your note. In your note it is written as collector base junction. Please correct it. So now there is another component, that is RE. It is known as emitter resistor. And the emitter resistor is used for providing thermal stabilization. So if this question is being asked in your examination, you just have to write this much. But somebody may have a doubt regarding what thermal stabilization is and how RE helps to attain thermal stabilization. So I will just explain it. You need not write all this in your examination. So just for your understanding. So I have already written the equation for IC as beta IB plus ICEO. And we said that this is the reverse saturation current which increases with increase in temperature. So suppose the temperature increases, then ICEO will increase, and as a result IC will increase. And we know that the emitter current is the sum of base current and collector current. So when IC increases, emitter current IE also increases. So when IE increases, IE is flowing through RE. When IE increases, voltage drop across RE. Let it be denoted as VE. Voltage drop across RE. That is IE into RE increases. So this is VE. So polarity can be marked as plus minus, because we always mark negative sign near to the ground. So this is VE. When IE increases, VE increases. And if we consider this loop, we can write the different voltages as voltage and across R2 is VR2. Polarity is like this because negative sign is marked near to the ground terminal. So another voltage is the voltage across the emitter base junction of the transistor, that is VBE. So it is plus here and minus here because this is an NPN transistor. So NPN. Positive is marked near to the P layer and negative near the N layer. And if we write the KVL equation for this particular loop, we will get VBE is equal to VR2 minus VE. So you already know how to apply KVL, so try it by yourself. So VBE will be equal to VR2 minus VE. So when VE increases, VBE will decrease. So VBE is the voltage across base emitter junction. When VBE decreases, the current through the base IB will decrease. So when IB decreases, consider this equation. When IB decreases, IC also decreases. So increase of IC due to change in temperature is prevented with the help of this resistor RE. So RE keeps IE from increasing. So this is how RE provides thermal stabilization.